Before we begin tonight, allow yourself to become comfortable and let this time be different from the rest of your day. If you're ready to release what you have been carrying, trust God with tomorrow and allow your mind to rest. You can leave a simple comment saying, "I am ready to rest." And if these quiet Bible sleep meditations help you find peace at night, you can subscribe to the channel so that you always have a peaceful place to return to when your thoughts feel heavy. Tonight, you do not need to solve tomorrow before you fall asleep. You do not need to know how every problem will be resolved, what every person will say, or how every situation will unfold. Whatever is waiting for you in the morning can remain there for now, because this moment does not belong to tomorrow. Jesus once spoke to people who understood what it meant to worry about ordinary life. They worried about food, clothing, work, the future, and the things they could not control. His words were not spoken to people who had no problems. They were spoken to people who knew what uncertainty felt like. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus told them not to worry about their lives and not to allow tomorrow to become the burden of today. He reminded them that life is more than the things they were afraid of losing, and more than the problems they were trying to manage. Perhaps those words are especially important at night. During the day, worry can hide beneath activity. There are messages to answer, places to go, responsibilities to handle, and people who need our attention. But when the room becomes quiet and the lights are turned off, the mind sometimes begins working even harder. You may begin thinking about something you forgot to do, a conversation you wish had gone differently, a decision you still need to make, or a problem that has not been solved. One thought can quickly lead to another, until tomorrow begins to feel as though it has already arrived. But tomorrow has not arrived. You are still here, in this room, in this bed, in this moment. Jesus did not say that tomorrow would never contain difficulties. He simply taught that tomorrow does not need to be carried before it comes. Each day has enough of its own concerns, and the mind was never meant to live several days at once. So tonight, allow yourself to return to this moment. You have done what you could do today. Some things went well, and some things may still feel unfinished. There may be things you wish you could change, but you do not have to change them before you sleep. You can place them before God. You can let Him hold the things you cannot hold tonight. This does not mean that you stop caring about your responsibilities. It means that you recognize that rest is also part of being human. Your body needs time to recover, and your mind needs time to become quiet. God does not require you to remain awake in order to prove that you care. As you listen, allow your breathing to become natural and comfortable. You do not need to control it or force yourself to relax. Simply notice that you are safe enough to remain still for a while. If a thought about tomorrow enters your mind, you do not need to follow it. You can acknowledge it and then gently return your attention to the words of Jesus. He knew that worry could make the future feel larger than the present. He also knew that fear could convince us that everything depends on our ability to prepare for every possible outcome. But not everything depends on you. You can make plans without trying to control every result. You can care about the people you love without carrying every problem for them. You can prepare for tomorrow without living tomorrow tonight. For these next few minutes, allow the future to remain in God's hands. There is nothing more you need to accomplish before you rest. You can allow your body to become heavier against the bed and let the sounds around you become less important. Tonight is not asking you for another answer. It is simply giving you permission to rest in the presence of God and to remember that tomorrow can wait until morning.
When Jesus spoke about worry, he did not treat it as though it were something strange or unusual. He understood that people naturally become concerned about what they need, what they might lose, and what could happen next. His teaching was not meant to shame people for feeling anxious. It was meant to remind them that anxiety does not have to become the place where they live. In Matthew chapter 6, Jesus asked a simple question. He asked whether worry could add even a single hour to a person's life. The answer was obvious. Worry can fill an hour, but it cannot create one. It can keep the mind busy, but it cannot guarantee tomorrow. It can make us feel as though we are preparing, even when we are only repeating the same fears in different forms. Perhaps you have experienced this yourself. You may have spent time thinking through a situation again and again, hoping that if you considered every possibility, you would finally feel secure. But instead of finding peace, you became more tired. There are moments when thinking is useful, and there are moments when more thinking only creates more noise. Night is often one of those moments. The things that seemed manageable during the day can feel much larger when you are tired. A small uncertainty can begin to feel urgent, and a problem that cannot be solved until morning can suddenly feel as though it must be solved immediately. Jesus invites us to step out of that cycle. He does not ask us to pretend that responsibilities do not exist. He asks us to remember that our lives are held by more than our own ability to control them. Think about the things that concern you tonight. Perhaps there is a decision you need to make, a person you are worried about, a financial concern, a change you did not expect, or something about the future that feels uncertain. You can acknowledge that concern without carrying it for the entire night. You can say to yourself that this problem is real, but it does not need to be solved at this exact moment. You can allow it to wait. Jesus reminded his listeners that their Heavenly Father already knew what they needed. That does not mean that every difficulty disappears immediately, but it does mean that your life is not unnoticed. God knows what you are facing. He knows the part that you understand, and He knows the part that you cannot see yet. He knows what tomorrow will contain before you reach it. That is why you do not need to live ahead of yourself. You can remain here in the present, where your only responsibility right now is to allow yourself to rest. Take a slow and comfortable breath and let your body become less tense. If your shoulders are tight, allow them to soften. If your hands are holding tension, let them rest naturally. There is nothing you need to force. Peace does not always arrive as a dramatic feeling. Sometimes it begins very quietly, when you decide that you no longer need to follow every fearful thought. Perhaps your mind will return to the same concerns several times tonight. That is all right. You do not need to become frustrated with yourself. Each time the thought returns, you can gently remind yourself that you have already considered it enough for today. Tomorrow will give you another opportunity to think, decide, speak, plan, and act. Tonight gives you an opportunity to stop. Jesus knew that people could become exhausted by carrying things that had not happened yet. His words invite you to release that weight before sleep. You do not need to predict every outcome. You do not need to prepare for every possibility. You can trust that when tomorrow arrives, you will meet it one moment at a time. For now, allow your breathing to remain calm and let the room around you become quieter in your awareness. The problems outside this moment can remain where they are. God is not asking you to carry the entire future tonight. You can rest with only this moment in front of you. After speaking about worry, Jesus directed the attention of his listeners towards something simple and familiar. He told them to look at the birds of the air and notice the way they live without carrying the same kind of fear about tomorrow that people often carry. The birds do not spend the night imagining every possible problem that might appear the next day. They do not lie awake trying to control the future. They wake when morning comes, and they live within the day that has been given to them. Jesus used this ordinary image to remind people of God's care. He told them that the birds are fed, and then he asked whether they were not worth much more than the birds. This was not a lesson about avoiding responsibility. It was a lesson about trust. You can prepare for tomorrow without believing that everything depends on you. You can make wise choices without carrying the weight of every possible result. Sometimes, the mind needs a simple image to return to when thoughts become complicated. So for a moment, imagine a quiet field in the early morning. The sky is beginning to brighten, and a few birds move through the cool air. They are not rushing. They are not trying to understand the entire day before it begins. They are simply living the moment in front of them. Perhaps you can allow yourself to do something similar tonight. You do not need to know how the next week will unfold. You do not need to know what someone will decide, whether a plan will work, or when a difficult season will finally change. You only need to be here. The bed beneath you is supporting your body. The room is quiet, and nothing is asking you to solve the future right now. Jesus pointed to the birds because sometimes creation teaches us things that our busy minds forget. The natural world moves through seasons without trying to control them. Morning arrives when it is time for morning. Night arrives when it is time for rest. Your body was also created with a rhythm. There is a time for work, a time for thought, a time for responsibility, and a time for sleep. If you continue carrying tomorrow through the night, your mind never receives the quiet it needs. So allow the image of those birds to remind you that life does not have to be managed every second. You are allowed to stop for a while. You are allowed to trust that God can remain active even while you are resting. The world does not depend on your wakefulness. The people you love do not become invisible to God when you close your eyes. The problems you are facing
do not become more dangerous simply because you stop thinking about them for a few hours. There is a kind of faith in allowing yourself to sleep. It is a quiet way of admitting that you are not in control of everything and that you do not need to be. As your breathing becomes slower, imagine your thoughts becoming less crowded. You do not have to remove every thought. You can simply stop giving each thought your full attention. If something important comes to mind, you can trust yourself to return to it tomorrow. For now, you can let it pass. Jesus did not tell his listeners to look at the birds because birds had easy lives. He told them to look because the birds offered a picture of dependence. They lived within the care that had been provided for them. You can allow yourself to rest within that same care tonight. You may not know what tomorrow will bring, but you do not need to know before you sleep. The morning will come when it comes. Until then, you can remain here, quiet and still, allowing God to hold the things that your mind has been trying to hold alone.
After speaking about the birds, Jesus gave his listeners another simple image from the world around them. He told them to consider the lilies of the field and to notice how they grow without worrying about how they will appear or how they will provide for themselves. The flowers do not spend the night preparing themselves for the next morning. They do not compare themselves with the flowers nearby, and they do not become anxious about whether they will have enough. They simply receive the light, the rain, and the season that has been given to them. Jesus used this image to remind people that God's care reaches into the smallest details of creation. If even the grass of the field can be clothed with beauty, then his listeners could trust that their own lives were not overlooked. There is something very peaceful about this teaching, especially at the end of a long day. So much of our worry comes from believing that we must hold everything together by ourselves. We think about how we appear to other people, whether we are doing enough, whether we have achieved enough, and whether tomorrow will give us what we need. These thoughts can become especially heavy at night because there is nothing left to distract us from them. Perhaps today, you compared yourself with someone else. Maybe you saw another person moving forward while you felt as though you were standing still. Maybe you questioned whether you are doing enough with your life, whether you are making the right decisions, or whether you should already be somewhere different. Jesus invites you to step away from that kind of pressure. The lilies do not become beautiful by worrying. They grow because they receive what is given to them one day at a time. Your life also unfolds one day at a time. You do not need to become the person you will be next year before you sleep tonight. You do not need to complete every goal, solve every problem, or reach every destination before you allow yourself to rest. There is still time. God is not measuring your worth by how much you completed today. He sees you as more than your productivity, more than your mistakes, and more than the things you still have not accomplished. This is why rest can become an act of trust. When you allow yourself to sleep,
You are accepting that growth can continue without your constant effort. You are allowing your body to recover and giving your mind the space it needs to become clear again. For a moment, imagine a quiet field at the end of the day. The light is soft, the air is still, and the flowers are simply present where they have grown. Nothing in that field is rushing toward tomorrow. Nothing is trying to make the night arrive faster. There is only the natural movement from day into rest. Allow yourself to follow that same rhythm. You have done enough for this day. Whatever still needs to grow in your life can continue in its proper time. Whatever still needs to change does not need to change tonight. If there is something you wish were different about yourself or your circumstances, you can acknowledge that gently without turning it into another problem to solve before sleep. Jesus wanted his listeners to understand that they were seen by God. That same truth is available to you tonight. You are not invisible. Your needs are not hidden. Your future is not outside his awareness. So let the pressure to become, achieve, and control begin to soften. You can remain exactly where you are for these next few hours. Nothing important is lost when you rest. The flowers of the field do not force themselves to grow through the night, and you do not need to force your life forward while your body is asking for sleep. Allow the quiet of this moment to be enough. Tomorrow will bring another opportunity to continue. Tonight, you can simply rest within the care of God.
As Jesus continued speaking about worry, he reminded his listeners that their Heavenly Father already knew what they needed. This was an important part of his teaching, because worry often grows from the fear that our needs will be overlooked, or that we will be left to handle everything alone. There are many forms that this fear can take. Sometimes we worry about practical things such as money, work, health, or the responsibilities of everyday life. At other times, we worry about things that are harder to describe, such as whether we will be understood, whether someone we love will be safe, or whether the future will become more difficult than we can manage. When these thoughts arrive at night, they can make us feel as though we must continue thinking until we find a way to guarantee that everything will be all right. But there are no guarantees that come from worry. Jesus did not promise that his followers would never face difficult circumstances. Instead, he reminded them that they were known by God even before they explained what they needed. That means you do not have to spend the night proving that your concerns are important. God already understands them. He knows the details you have not told anyone. He knows the thoughts that have been repeating in your mind. He knows the responsibilities that have made you tired. And he knows the things you are afraid might happen. There is comfort in being known this completely. You may not know how every need will be met, but you do not have to believe that you are unnoticed. You may not know how a situation will change, but you do not have to believe that God has stopped seeing it. This can allow your mind to loosen its grip. Perhaps there is something you have been asking God for. Maybe you have prayed about it many times, and you are tired of repeating the same request. Tonight, you do not need to make the prayer longer. You do not need to find new words. You can simply remember that He already knows.
There is no need to keep explaining the same concern to yourself either. Your mind may try to return to it because it wants certainty, but certainty is not always available before sleep. Trust can exist even when certainty does not. Allow yourself to become comfortable again. Let your breathing remain easy. There is no need to create a particular feeling or force yourself into peace. Simply allow the knowledge that God sees you to become quieter and deeper than the thoughts that are asking for your attention. Jesus told people that their Father knew what they needed because he wanted them to live differently from people who believed everything depended on their own effort. That teaching still matters tonight. You are allowed to care without carrying everything. You are allowed to be responsible without believing that you control every outcome. You are allowed to love people without trying to protect them with worry. If someone you care about is on your mind tonight, you can place that person in God's care. If there is a need that feels urgent, you can place that need before Him. If there is uncertainty about the future, you can admit that you do not know what will happen and still allow yourself to rest. Your Father already knows. The truth does not require another action from you tonight. It simply gives you a reason to release some of the pressure you have been carrying. Let your thoughts become slower as you remember that the things you cannot manage are not hidden from God. Morning will come when it is time for morning. Until then, you can rest knowing that your life is seen. Your needs are known, and you do not have to stay awake in order for God to remain present.
Near the end of his teaching about worry, Jesus said something that is especially helpful at night. He reminded his listeners that tomorrow would have concerns of its own, and that each day already carries enough for the day itself. This is a simple idea, but it can change the way we approach the end of the day. Many of us do not stop caring today when today is finished. We carry the conversations that did not go well, the tasks we did not complete, the mistakes we wish we had avoided, and the things that still feel unresolved. Then we add tomorrow on top of them. We think about what needs to happen next, what might go wrong, and what we need to prepare for. Before long, the mind is carrying more than one day at a time. Jesus invites us to live differently. Today has already asked enough from you. You have already made decisions, solved problems, interacted with people, and carried responsibilities. Some things went the way you hoped, and some things did not. Either way, the day is coming to an end. You do not need to continue carrying it through the night. Perhaps there is something from today that you are replaying in your mind. Maybe you wish you had responded differently to someone. Maybe you made a mistake, forgot something important, or simply feel disappointed with the way part of the day unfolded. You can acknowledge that without continuing to punish yourself with it. If something needs to be corrected, you can correct it when the opportunity comes. If an apology needs to be made, you can make it tomorrow. If a task needs to be completed, you can return to it after you have rested. The night
does not make those things more urgent. It simply makes your mind more tired. Jesus understood that people need to live within the limits of one day at a time. There is wisdom in those limits. You were not created to carry every future possibility all at once. You were created to meet life as it arrives. This does not mean that you should never plan ahead. Planning can be useful, but planning is different from worrying. Planning asks what can reasonably be done. Worry continues asking what could happen long after there is nothing more to do. Tonight, notice whether your thoughts are helping you prepare or simply keeping you awake. If there is nothing useful you can do about the situation right now, allow yourself to stop. You can return to it tomorrow with a clearer mind. There is no failure in waiting until morning. In fact, some decisions become easier after rest because the mind is no longer reacting from exhaustion. Let the words of Jesus give you permission to remain within this day. You do not need to step into tomorrow before it arrives. The next morning will bring its own light, its own responsibilities, and its own opportunities. You can meet them when they come. For now, let this day become complete.
You have lived it.
You have lived it.
You have carried it.
You can now put it down.
As you remain still.
As you remain still, allow your breathing to stay natural and let the room become quieter in your awareness. Nothing else needs to happen in this moment. Whatever tomorrow contains, you will not have to face it all at once.
You will face one moment.
And then another.
Tonight.
You can remain here and allow yourself to rest before the next day begins.
By this point in the night, you may already feel that some of the thoughts you carried into bed have become a little quieter. Perhaps the same concerns are still present somewhere in the background, but they do not need to remain at the center of your attention. Jesus taught his listeners not to worry about tomorrow, because he understood how easily the mind can move ahead of the present moment. We begin imagining conversations that have not happened, problems that have not appeared, and outcomes that may never come. Tonight, you can choose to stop living ahead of yourself. Whatever tomorrow contains is not here yet. If there is something you need to do in the morning, you will have the opportunity to do it when morning arrives. If there is a decision you need to make, you will be able to consider it with a clearer mind after you have rested. If there is a conversation you are concerned about, you do not need to rehearse every possible version of it while you are lying in bed. You can place those things in God's hands for the night. This does not require a complicated prayer. You can simply tell him that you have carried enough for today and that you are willing to trust him with what comes next. You may not feel completely certain about the future, and that is all right. Trust does not always mean that uncertainty disappears. Sometimes trust simply means that you no longer demand an answer before allowing yourself to rest. Think for a moment about the concern that has occupied the most space in your mind today. You do not need to analyze it again. You already know that it matters to you. Instead, imagine placing it before God and leaving it there until morning.
If your mind tries to pick it up again, you can remind yourself that nothing useful is gained by carrying the same concern through another hour of the night. There will be time for action when action is possible. For now, there is only rest. Your body has carried you through another day, and your mind has worked hard enough. Allow yourself to become more comfortable. Let your breathing remain natural, and let the muscles in your face, shoulders, arms, and hands become less tense without forcing anything. You do not need to create peace. You can simply stop resisting rest. Jesus wanted people to understand that they were not alone in their needs, and that their Heavenly Father already knew what tomorrow would contain. That same truth can become the place where you rest tonight. God knows what you are worried about.
He knows what you are hoping for.
He knows what has not been resolved.
He knows what you will face when you wake.
You do not have to stay awake in order to remind Him. The future does not become safer because you continue thinking about it. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is allow yourself to sleep.
So let tomorrow remain in God's hands.
You do not need to carry it through the night.
You can remain here
In this quiet moment,
and allow the day
to come to an end,
whatever still needs your attention.
can wait until you are rested. For now, you can let your thoughts become slower and allow yourself to move gently toward sleep.
As the night becomes quieter, there is less and less that you need to think about. You have already considered the things that matter, and you have already given attention to the concerns that followed you through the day. Now your mind can begin to do less. You do not need to force your thoughts to disappear. Trying too hard to stop thinking can sometimes create more tension. So instead of fighting each thought, simply allow it to pass without turning it into another conversation inside your mind. A thought may appear about tomorrow. You can notice it and let it move on. A memory from earlier today may return. You can acknowledge it without replaying the entire moment. Something unfinished may come to mind. You can trust yourself to return to it after you have slept. There is no need to follow every thought that arrives. Your mind has spent the day responding to people, making decisions, remembering details, and solving problems. It does not need to continue at the same pace throughout the night. Jesus reminded his listeners that worry could not add anything useful to their lives, and that teaching becomes especially meaningful when the day is over. There is nothing more you need to add to this night. You do not need another plan. You do not need another solution. You do not need to prepare for something that has not happened yet. Allow your awareness to become simpler. Notice the comfort of the bed beneath you. Notice the steady rhythm of your breathing. Notice that the room around you does not require anything from you. You are allowed to remain still. If you are still listening closely to every word, you do not need to.
You can allow the voice to become part of the background while your attention begins to drift. There is no information you need to remember. There will be no question later that you need to answer. You can miss parts of what is being said. You can stop following the story. You can simply rest. God does not need your complete attention in order to remain near. His presence does not depend on your ability to concentrate. Even as your thoughts become less organized and sleep begins to come closer, you are still within His care. There may be a moment when you notice that you are no longer sure what you were thinking about a few seconds earlier. That is perfectly fine. Your mind is beginning to release the day. Allow that process to happen naturally. You do not need to check whether you are relaxed enough. You do not need to wonder how long it will take to fall asleep. Sleep does not need to be forced. It can arrive gradually as you stop asking yourself to remain alert. Let the concerns of the day become less important now. They are not disappearing forever. They are simply waiting until another time. Tomorrow will have enough space for tomorrow. This night belongs to rest. Allow your breathing to continue in its own rhythm, and let your body remain heavy and supported. If your mind becomes quiet for a few moments, enjoy that quiet without trying to hold on to it. If another thought appears, let that thought pass as well. There is nothing you need to chase and nothing you need to solve. You can allow yourself to become less aware of the room, less aware of the words, and less interested in what comes next. For now, you can simply remain here while sleep comes in its own time.
There is a point in the night when the day no longer needs to follow you. The responsibilities that belong to the morning, afternoon, and evening have already had their time, and there is no reason for them to continue asking for your attention while you are trying to sleep. You have reached the part of the night where very little is required from you. You do not need to understand another lesson or think through another idea. You can simply remain comfortable and allow yourself to rest. Jesus spoke about worry because he knew how deeply people wanted to feel secure. We often believe that security comes from knowing exactly what will happen next. But there are many moments in life when that kind of knowledge is not available. Peace can still exist without it. You can rest without knowing tomorrow. You can sleep without solving everything first. You can close your eyes without making sure that every part of life is under control. God remains present while you sleep. The people you care about remain known to Him. The situations you are worried about remain visible to Him. The future does not move beyond His awareness simply because your mind becomes quiet. This means that you do not have to keep watch over everything. You can allow your attention to become softer. Perhaps your breathing is already slower than it was earlier. Perhaps your body feels heavier against the bed. Perhaps you are beginning to lose interest in the words and drift in.
and out of listening. There is no need to resist that. You are not missing anything important. You are moving toward the purpose of this time. Let yourself drift. If a thought appears, it does not need an answer. If a worry appears, it does not need another hour of attention. If you suddenly remember something you need to do tomorrow, trust that tomorrow will give you the opportunity to deal with it. Nothing needs to be handled now. This is one of the quiet gifts of night. The world continues while you stop. Morning approaches without your help. Time moves forward without your effort. And God remains present without requiring you to stay awake. You can allow yourself to rest in that truth. There is no pressure to feel especially spiritual or peaceful. You do not need to create a perfect state of mind. You only need to stop asking yourself to remain alert. Let the words become quieter in your awareness. Let the room become distant. Let your thoughts become less organized and less important. You have carried enough for one day. Jesus told his listeners not to worry about tomorrow. And tonight you can receive those words in the simplest possible way. Tomorrow does not need you yet. This night is for rest. Allow yourself to remain still and comfortable while sleep comes closer. You are not responsible for what happens during the next few hours. You can let your mind step away from the day and allow your body to do what it was created to do. You can rest knowing that you are seen, known, and cared for by God. There is nothing else you need to accomplish tonight. You can simply allow sleep to come.
As this time comes to a quiet close, there is nothing more you need to understand, remember, or prepare for. The words you have heard can remain somewhere in the background while your attention becomes softer and your body continues moving naturally towards sleep. Jesus reminded his listeners not to worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow would arrive in its own time. The teaching does not require you to solve anything tonight. It simply allows you to stop caring what does not belong to this moment. Whatever is waiting for you in the morning can remain there. The decisions can remain unfinished. The conversations can remain unspoken. The plans can remain incomplete. There is no need to continue holding them in your mind while your body is asking for rest. You have already given enough attention to this day. Now, you can allow the night to do what it was made to do. Your breathing does not need to be controlled. Your thoughts do not need to disappear completely. Your body does not need to feel perfectly relaxed before sleep can begin. You can simply stop trying. If you notice a thought about tomorrow, allow it to pass without following it further. If something from today returns to your mind, you can let it remain unfinished for now. There will be another time for thinking, deciding, remembering, and acting. This is not that time. For these next few hours, you can rest. God knows what is waiting for you tomorrow. Even though you do not, He knows the people you will speak with, the choices you may need to make,
and the situations that are still uncertain tonight. You do not have to stay awake in order to prepare Him for any of it. Nothing about your life becomes hidden from God when you fall asleep. The things that concern you remain known. The people you love remain known. The future remains known. Because of that, you can allow yourself to become less attentive to everything around you. The voice can become distant now. You do not need to follow every sentence. You do not need to remain awake until the end. If your thoughts begin to drift, let them drift. If the words become unclear, allow them to become unclear. There is nothing here that you need to remember in the morning. The purpose of this moment is simply to give you space to rest. Jesus spoke about the birds and the flowers because they offered a picture of life that is not controlled by constant fear. They receive each day as it comes. And tonight, you can do the same. You have received this day. You have lived through it. Now it can end. Tomorrow will arrive without your help. Morning will come, whether you think about it or not. So there is no reason to hurry toward it in your mind. Stay where you are. Let the bed continue to support your body. Let your breathing continue without effort. Let the room become less important. There is nothing you need to monitor. There is nothing you need to protect by remaining awake. There is nothing you need to solve before sleep is allowed to come. You can trust God with the hours ahead. Perhaps you are already close to sleep. And if you are, there is no need to hold on to these words. Allow them to fade into the background while your mind becomes quieter. If you are still awake, that is also fine. You do not need to become frustrated or check the time. Rest can begin before sleep, simply by allowing yourself to remain still without demanding anything from yourself. Let this be enough.
You are here.
The day is finished.
Tomorrow can wait.
God is present, and you can allow yourself to rest within that quiet truth.
Nothing more is required from you tonight.
You can close your eyes, let your thoughts become less important, and allow sleep to come whenever it is ready.
The morning will take care of itself when it arrives.
For now, you can remain in God's peace and let this night carry you gently into rest.